Among the most common sexual sins, pregnancy and abortion, all ugly sins, but in and of themselves, they are pernicious evils.
I came to know for myself that Jesus Christ was born of the Virgin Mary, who was a precious and chosen vessel. They go to the temple along with our 11-year-old young women.
She would be a second wife. She asked this question: would she be able to have her own house? Or would she have to live with her husband and his first wife? I just told her to trust the Lord.
We are instructed to give unto you the law of chastity, which is that the women of God's kingdom and the men of God's kingdom shall have no sexual relations except with those to whom they are legally and lawfully wedded according to his law. Each of you bring your right arm to the square. You and each of you individually covenant and promise before God, angels, and these witnesses that you will observe and keep the law of chastity as it has been explained to you. Each of you bow your head and say yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Travis Wayne Goodsell. So after 2 days of mocking the church for their failure to post the pre-recorded before conference video of the living prophet of Jesus, they finally did it. Mormons are escalating the war against America. And it's starting to get scary as an ISIL radical in Idaho was going to assist in destroying 2 of the churches in that little town, caught by the FBI yesterday, which was exactly what I was warning you that the church was up to with the payment to both Muslim national and religious leaders, government and religious leaders, because everything the church does is criminal and to overthrow the government. And so the Arizona ban, that was by Mormons. Supreme Court, they've got Mormons on that Supreme Court. I don't think the news is fully understanding this. You know, Idaho's already banned OBGYNs as they were forced to flee for their lives and their careers because of Idaho's hate bill against women, because that's what it is. You know, all this claim of protecting the fetus or the sperm is all an attack on women. They have no intention of caring for the baby once it's born, because they punish the kid. Kid has to be put into an orphanage because they've locked up their mother for murder or attempted murder to preserve the baby. And so, yeah, the kid's life is ruined. And the kid will grow up knowing that the government ruined the kid's life, has locked up their mother simply because she was raped, or she was going to die, or she died having the baby. And it's just so abominable what's going on right now. It's all an attempt to destroy our government, to destroy the Constitution, so that they can restore a monarchy over the land of the United States. And all these Mormons that are seeking to do this, thinking that they're doing it for Jesus, don't even believe the Book of Mormon. You know, Captain Moroni, what do you think that was about? If you're going to call it literal history, what was it about? Saving the Constitution of Zarahemla. Kingmen were threatening to overthrow the government. And Mormons can't even make a literal history comparison? And I know they can, because Benson said that the first coming of Jesus to the Nephites is an exact parallel of the second coming of Jesus to the world. And Mormons still are incapable of using intelligence. And it's just sad, literally sad, all the hate comments that come flooding in after conference is over and done with. Here's a Mormon who's agency-splaining to me on my channel. Dear God, he has no clue who I am. He comes to one video that happens to be a breakout video. Post-conference. Plan of LDS Church. No agency salvation. I have Oaks shown as the terrorist, holding apostles in bondage. And I most likely used covenant underwear too, didn't I? There's a ... And so apparently Simon didn't even bother to watch conference. Didn't even bother. Went on vacation that weekend. And here he comes 2 days after, 3 days after, and thinks that I'm attacking the church. Has no clue about his video. And I don't know if I used the clips in that video or not. Probably not, because it was probably closer to the conference talk that he gave it on. The one that I did the next day or something. But still, he didn't even bother to go find Oakes's talk, listen to it, and go, oh crap, he just told me I'm in bondage to the church and my underwear is the sign and symbol of it. Name, sign, and token of it. He has no clue who I am, and he's attacking me. The depths of stupidity. And he looks like a young kid, too. In his 20s. So he's probably fresh off the mission. And so, listen to the thinking of Mormons, despite Oakes saying, you're in bondage to Jesus. Your underwear is the symbolism of that bondage to Jesus in the temple bondage covenants. I bet he doesn't even know what they are. And if I don't say them, you're going to say, oh, you don't either, Travis. Obedience, sacrifice, gospel, polygamy, and consecration. No, Travis. It's not polygamy. You're not listening, are you? You don't know what Nelson changed it to in 2019, do you? I do. I listened to all of conference while you went on vacation. I went to the temple every single day before the church locked me up for life. You do not know my history. You do not know me. And you come onto my channel and you insult me with your agency-splaining and testimonial. You are evil when you pull this stunt. And the majority of the Mormons are cowards who won't even put a comment. They just put a thumbs down because they're not happy that Oakes said you're in bondage. This is beyond cult behavior. Exfo Nevermos keep doing videos about how the Mormons are a cult group. How the church is a cult group. And they refer to a particular psychologist who did the listing on cult groups, and it's inaccurate and incomplete, yet nonetheless, they use it to compare their experience with the church when they were Mormon and that list. And I've done the videos several times over the years talking about my mom after I was divorced and the sealing canceled. My mom was asked by the Relief Society president to teach Relief Society on the coming Sunday on the effects of divorce on the marriage. And so my mom had gotten a library book by a psychologist who had a list of feelings and emotions that accompany divorce. And so my mom thought that she would put the book to the test to see how accurate it is, and asked me what I went through after Stephanie abandoned me and got a divorce. And she didn't acknowledge that, but I did. She helped in that whole process. That's why she has to deny her involvement in what was actually done, but nonetheless. And so she had the book. She had set aside her paper and pen or pencil and was ready to go over the checklist. And I began going over in graphic detail what I went through. And I watched my mom as she was looking, trying to find it, couldn't, and then closed the book while I'm still talking, set it aside, got her pad and pencil, and began taking notes. Psychologists suck at their job. You cannot trust other human beings to tell you the truth. And even psychologists, knowing this, have purposely rigged their studies to get the people to tell them what they want to know for their research. So the whole thing is just wrong. And it's sickening that the news does polling data. Polls say Biden sucks. You know the news is purposely trying to threaten the political leader to do their will, because they only poll maybe a couple hundred, most likely, if not upwards of 1,000. How many American citizens are there in the United States? Over 300 million. And so that small little polling group is threatening the president to do this or that, or else the whole 300 million will be mad. And yeah, it's being used by the press to make policy and demand change and all that crap. But anyway, Simon the Welshman. We have free will. That's Christian, Simon. That's not Mormon. Who are you listening to? And it's not even free because you're in bondage, but the prophets have come out. Bednar comes to mind immediately, saying that we don't have free agency, we have agency. As long as we make the right choices. Because if we make the wrong choices, we lose our agency. And so, yeah, I don't know where he's making this stuff up from other than his Christian friends. And choice to be baptized. So at 8 years old, really? Should I do a whole video and scrap this one at 13 minutes in and talk about my baptism? It's just, he does not know me. Dear God, we use our agency and freedom to accept the covenants of baptism. The other video I did this morning, I think, wasn't it? He was also talking about agency. He was asking me what I understood about agency, because he couldn't find a Mormon who can explain it. So I explained it, and then he disagreed and told me a lie. He does not understand what agency is. The church's understanding of agency is you obey or you get punished. You're free to choose, but you have to obey with no guarantee of reward. But if you don't obey, you get punished. That's guaranteed. That is not free agency. That is not even agency. You are in bondage in that false dichotomous position. That's the church's position on agency. Don't even think you're going to debate me on this. I already told you Bednar came to mind. And it was from a video that was presented to us in Elders Quorum years ago. That's how good my associative memory is. And so it's not about freedom to accept the covenants or not accept them. See, this is what spiritual witness feelings have branched into. Missionaries go out, tell the investigator, here's the Book of Mormon, read, ponder, pray about it, find out if it's true. Reading it is kind of useless, but it does say to read it. But the important thing is that you get a spiritual witness in your boobs telling you through feelings that it's true. And so you don't need to know what it says, because you know beyond the shadow of a doubt, you felt it. It's true, and nobody can take that away from you. That's your testimony. And so as a result, praying to get the right feeling is agency. It has to be the right feeling. Otherwise, if you get the wrong feeling, you've violated your agency, and your agency needs to be taken away from you, and you need to be put into bondage because you're incapable of exercising your agency properly. All because of the false doctrine of the prophets. Because Mormons are illiterate or just refuse to read. Agency has to do with having the freedom of life, liberty, and property. Nobody violating those from you, and you giving it to others, so that you're not committing a crime. It's in the Constitution. Pursuit of life, liberty, and property. The pursuit of happiness, it's understood as property. It's called effects in the amendment, in the Bill of Rights. And so the property we choose to obtain is to the goal of meeting our happiness. And so when the church tells a person, we disapprove of your property, as if I were to do my mission video, continue that series, talking about how everybody stole my stuff when I was on my mission. that before my mission, my mom said, you can't bring a pink paisley tie because that's not conservative. That's on the list of ties to bring. I get out on my mission, everybody's wearing a pink paisley tie and other colorful ties. And my mom said she was going to give it to my dad's tie collection. He has tons of ties. I don't know why. It doesn't make sense, but anyway. But I came back, gone. Dad doesn't like pink. Pink paisley, that's gay color. There's no such thing. But nevertheless. And so, yeah, what the church is doing by taking away life, taking away liberty, taking away property, is taking away agency. That's Lucifer's plan of happiness. Mormons have been fooled into thinking that a false dichotomy position of accept the church or you're wrong is your agency. That's Lucifer's deception. And Mormons can't see it. They embrace the bondage. And yet the church banned Mormons from seeing that whole bondage series of movies. The 50 Shades of Grey, was it? Dear God. Mormons love abuse and being abused. And yeah, this is what happens when you are a victim of abuse. You don't see it. You blame yourself. You empathize with your hostage taker who's abusing you, your domestic violence partner. And that's also disturbing, is because when I fill out forms and stuff for the government or the apartment or other stuff, I'm always asked, am I a victim of domestic violence? Because there are domestic violence laws now in Utah. And so that's often a question that's asked. And yet they won't say, are you a victim of government abuse? Are you a victim of religious abuse? It's just domestic. They won't ask about other kinds of abuse. So yeah, even corporate abuse. You know, if you're not getting paid a living wage, you're being abused by your corporation, your slave owners. So yeah, he's just rambling nonsense on what I told you about the false dichotomy. And for some reason, he thinks that it's all clear in his head. He has no clue that it's a false dichotomy. He doesn't even know what dichotomy means. And that it's being used on him by psychologists. Stanley Smith Stevens was the originator of it. Mormon. And he doesn't understand when Jesus, he thinks that Jesus is literal history because he's clueless about Roman Emperor Constantine. Didn't bother to read verse 19 in the 1838 history. He's gone on a mission. He's clueless. Not my will, but thine be done. Not understanding. Dear God. Dear God. And so he asks a question at the end, and it's kind of sarcastic and rhetorical. So please tell me again what you are saying matches with what is that which we believe and choose to do with our free will and choice. Nothing matches. Lucifer's plan of happiness, that's what matches. And you're so dense you couldn't figure it out. So, yeah, pay attention, guys. Things are escalating. Anderson is celebrating the end of Ramadan. And like I said, pay attention to Passover. It's the 22nd to the 29th. And I'm willing to bet the church is going to go silent. They are purposely escalating their abuses by ignoring the Jews, focusing on Islam. They are claiming they're anti-Semitic. They're not treating people equally. They're religious leaders. They're supposed to be equal, saying that Jesus loves all, but he doesn't in this church. Jesus isn't real. Book of Mormon says we're Jewish. And nobody wants to watch these videos that I'm doing. It has to be shocking value videos. Oaks murdering on the thumbnail picture in order for people to come and watch and then go, oh, you didn't watch the video, you took it out of context, Travis. And you won't listen to what I say, and so it's no good. I can't get through to this deep of an indoctrinated people. Can't be done. And so I'm just watching as America and the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints and the Mormons are all entering into utter destruction. And there's nothing I can do. I've warned you. I've gone over the prophecies, gone over the Book of Mormon, gone over Joseph Smith. You won't believe, and it's happening in real time. And the prophets are escalating it after the 8th. They failed again. And so now they've gone to the next plan and have gone full throttle on this one. This is what this is. They failed, and so Plan D is now in operation because they failed back in 2020. It's probably higher than that. Probably more like M or N. But yeah, seriously, I warned you that the church had paid Islamic leaders to destroy the church, and then the church can claim victim and get their Zion back. But it now seems that Plan N or M or OPQ, whatever they're at, is now to keep Salt Lake City as it's a complete wreck. The church purposely wrecked it to purge Utah and get it destroyed so that they can have Missouri. And so now it looks like they're going to keep Utah, and they're trying to improve conditions now. You destroyed this valley. And now the Panguitch Dam is breaking. Yeah, this is... God. This is the consequences. It's coming back to bite them. And so, yeah, they're hoping to have the two lands again, Missouri and Salt Lake City, to go back to that plan. But, yeah, the plan, this was the original plan, that Nelson was required to have all fulfilled, and he failed. So... God. But yeah, it's getting worse. The church hates women. This was the church. The whole nation banning Roe v. Wade. That was the church. I've done the videos, guys. I do the research. I'm paying attention to everything the church says and does. This is a church news video. Do you not think I do others? Did I announce that this was the first time I think I'm going to start paying attention to the prophets? Every single conference. I've listened to all of them. I took notes, I do videos. Normally, they skyrocket. This time it's a failure. YouTube has silenced me. You do not know me. And it's so frustrating that you guys refuse to acknowledge who I am. You insist on believing the lie of Jesus. And so, yeah, here's Jim's Pong. Your dialogue is slow, boring, hypocritical. One video and you're calling it hypocritical, huh? Are you sure? I bet you're going to pull a Jesus on me, aren't you? Inaccurate and hateful. Wow, the Book of Mormon is hateful, huh? You do not understand what you're doing. When the story has Jesus nailed to a cross and people are coming up and hating him, they've been spitting on him while he was in prison, torturing him, beating him, demanding he die. You can't make the connection to me. It was written by a Jew, remember? Prophecy and Revelation. And Jesus on the cross says, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. I'm not asking God to forgive you guys. You can burn in hell for all I care. I've tried, and you refuse. And so, yeah, I know the scriptures. Don't think you're going to come after me and think that you're going to outsmart me or expose me. Too many have done it. You're using Jesus' interpretation to do it, and you will lose. And give a positive message of Jesus. Instead of being obsessed with other people's faith. Really? What's your faith then? I thought I was a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, born and raised in the covenant. Which church are you a part of and thinking that you're defending? He's calling me the other to justify his hate. Beam in the moat. So yeah, we're going to end with the scripture. It's doubtful that any of the haters are going to last this long, so it's only you guys who are faithful and true are the moments we two can share. How are you guys doing? It's frustrating being so lonely. Had another woman attack me today. It's unclear as to her age, but still, dear God. And it shall come to pass in verse 21 that this generation of Mormons in the latter days, right now, shall not pass away, die, until every desolation which I have told you concerning them shall come to pass. And in case you don't know about section 45, Joseph Smith tells us in the beginning, I'm talking to you Mormons, I'm going to use parable stories exactly like the Jewish authors of the Bible. And so you're the Jews, the Jewish temple is the Salt Lake Temple, Jesus is me, and the learning of the Jews. And so yeah, there it is, right there. That wasn't even the verse I was looking for. It's the one of stepping on the mount, which was going to be in 2020, but they backed off, they failed. And so it ended up being in 2022. I put my foot on the mount. My feet were blistered, my hands were blistered. Wounds in my hands and in my feet. Joseph adds it from Zechariah. Only has hands in Zechariah. That's not what he's talking about, is the nail prints through the palms. Hell no. Stay away with your nails. And so, yeah, you're supposed to be looking for the great day of the Lord, for the signs of his coming. Verse 39. Signs in the heavens, guys. You're not looking. Mormons aren't looking. 3 Nephi chapter 2. Fulfilled. Joseph Smith tried to warn you, and you won't listen to your founder. I got to use the right pronouns here because I'm talking to the faithful and true, or the moments we took in shares. And so, yeah, verse 48. I set my foot upon Mount Olympus, the mountain of the god, Zeus, Yah, Amen, Mount Olympus. There it is, verse 48. And so it cleaving in twain is not an actual earthquake. There may be an earthquake in some time. That's not what it's talking about. It's a symbolic concept there. And so, yeah, the heavens don't shake. It's the earth from an earthquake, but still, we had the earthquake, the Magna earthquake, the day after my birthday. The angel Gabriel, the God of strength, one mighty and strong, Magna, strength, strong, earthquake, knocks the horn out of Moroni. I did the videos. It's the day after my birthday. Gabriel's the one that announces the birth of Jesus, which is me. So he's here, Mormons. That was what Mormons were supposed to get from it, and they're too far gone. And so the Mormons shall mourn because of the destruction that's coming. This is verses 8 through 10 in the 3rd Nephi. This is where we're at. It's already been happening. California has been submerged underwater. Australia, other places, submerged underwater. I think Paris I saw this morning. Submerged underwater. And earthquakes. Taiwan and New York. It was New Jersey technically, but yeah, it's flatland, so everybody feels it out there. Earthquakes. There's fires. We're coming up on summertime. We're already being told it's going to be bad this year. And they're already warning about hurricane season. It's going to be bad this year. So, yeah. And so the Mormons who are laughing at me, yeah, they ain't going to be laughing no more. The Mormons who are mocking me, they ain't going to be mocking anymore. Mormons who are scorning me aren't going to be scorning me anymore. The Mormons who are watching for me to commit some kind of a sin, oh no, I'm drinking Mountain Dew, the dew of the gods, at your local store. This one's a little more difficult to obtain. I think it's only available through Smith's, the Kroger. It's the 1.25 liter version. I can't even find it on Amazon. They don't sell that size and shape of the bottle on Amazon either. Only at Smith's Kroger. And so, yeah, that's just go through how did the Pharisees, Sadducees, and scribes treat Jesus. That's the Mormons treating me. Remember? Everything is a prophecy. And so this is the Mormons. Joseph Smith saying, this is what you're going to do to me. To my third great nephew, that what I am to Joseph? And so the Mormons are going to look upon me and say, what are the wounds in thy hands and in thy feet? And then they shall know that I'm him. Because Jesus didn't show. They're like the poor Zoramites. Oh no, how are we going to worship Jesus, the spirit entity of Christianity, replacing the Jews with our synagogue? These are the wounds with which I was wounded in the house of my friends. I am he, lifted up. Cross. Romans didn't use crosses. This was 8 April 2024's solar eclipse shadow on the face of the United States of America. The two crossroads, plural. Everything is there for Mormons to see, but they can't see it because of Jesus. And so, yeah, Joseph Smith is using Jews, Joseph Smith is using Jesus. I am Jesus that was crucified. It's not crucified. It's the sign in the heavens, lifted up on the cross, sign in the heavens, which casts its shadow on the earth. And then Mormons will weep because of their iniquities. Crap, I'm a Danite. Crap, I'm in bondage with this underwear. Mormons need a underwear burning, like women used to do in the civil rights movement, burn the bras. Kind of defeated the purpose because guys wanted to watch. Women, so cute. Then shall they lament because they persecuted their king. Joseph Smith isn't going Christian here. This was March 7th, 1831. Dear God. He knew of the eclipse, of the sign of my birth. Just incredible how much he knew, and Mormons don't care to know. They're all angry with me. They want me dead and silenced. They have no idea what they're doing. They have no idea that they're the enemy. That they've been fooled by this church to destroy America. They think the ends justify the means. So yeah, I just finished with Star Trek where Spock dies. The utilitarian philosophy that is false. The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. No. Even in the class I had taken on that, and I took several courses on morals and ethics, but the one particular one where we went over that one, he presented numerous criticisms of that. Can't be even a theory, that claim, because if the claim cannot be confirmed, it has to be dismissed, has to be redesigned. But the moral theories are not being dismissed. All of them are wrong. There is no morality that works. And so despite Mr. Agency Splainers today, I'm the only one that's developed the theory that has actually been confirmed and established as fact. And I already told you, life, liberty, property must be given to you, you must give it to others. And in so doing, there will be no crime, and everybody will prosper. Because it'll help weed out the corruptions in the law that have crept in the United States over time. We'll restore rights to women instead of sperm. I'm surprised they haven't erected a statue of sperm and are bowing to it. Doing human sacrifices of virgins to the sperm god. Do I have that? If I have that, we're going to do that as a thumbnail picture. That would be hilarious. Oh, there it is.